guys, welcome on back. I know it's been a minute. I know. Listen, I do apologize. I'm really bad at the week to week staying up to date with TV shows. I do apologize. Also, I do have on some new Gray Matter merch that I got recently. So thank you so much to them. Gooby, do you want to say hi? And I actually talked to Gray a little bit. Let them know that we all very much love and adore them over here. So, for today's episode, we are diving back into the Boulet Brothers Dragula, because we are going to finish the season. I know it happened, all that, but we're still going to finish it, still going to give my thoughts and everything. And, yeah, once again, you can find it on Shudder, on Amazon Prime, or AMC Plus on Amazon Prime, or on their direct websites. I think it's cheaper if you just get AMC Plus. I think that subscription is cheaper than Shudder's. But if you really like horror movies and all that, highly recommend Shudder. So, yeah. Of course, that season's done. It's over with now. We're playing catch up here, but all the other past seasons are on there as well. I love rewatching this show, you guys. Year round, it's a constant for me. I just love this show so much. So, for today's episode, we're looking at Season 6, Episode 8 of the Boulet Brothers Dragula, and this is the Frankenhooker Challenge. Now, I know I've said in this season, at least, that I have favorite, challenges and whatnot. Frankenhooker is definitely one of my faves. Oh my god. Just as a concept, it's so perfect for the world of Dragula. So let's head on over to the mansion, I guess, and see what the Boulets got for us this week.
Alright, so you're supposed to connect the jugular to the battery pack.
Not them making their own Frankenhooker. I love this.
I'm not even sure if I want to bring him back. He's so much more pleasant when he can't
I do find it interesting no one went with male hooker, right?
talk.
They kind of went with gender neutral. There was a lot of bodies with multiple gendered parts on it, which I love that too, honestly.
Oh, it's you again.
Sorry.
Back for more, are you?
We're a little late this time.
Well, if we didn't scare you off with needles, sharks, skydiving, and a Tesla coil, I suppose we can expect you here into the inn, so you may as well get comfortable.
And if you're looking for a little more gore and terror, you've arrived just in time. Tonight we're stitching together a twisted tale that's straight out of our favorite horror flicks.
It's a night.
I'ma be honest, I haven't watched Frankenhooker, but I'ma have to. Because it looks good, but they do give the disclaimer of it's it's very problematic. But I don't think that means we can't still enjoy something for the essence of what it was, I like Toxic Avenger. Not necessarily the most PC movie there is, especially the second one, and on from there is weird. But I enjoy them. They're stupid movies. And I think that's more so how they need to be viewed,
Where we mix parts that don't belong together and see what monstrous creations
That makes sense why some of the girls chose what they did then.
emerge from the shadows.
So grab your popcorn and your spare body parts, because things are about to get electrifying.
For social media purposes, fake head. I'm excited. So, entering the workroom, Pi seems to be a little bit bitter about the double win that happens. More so just kind of invalidating the win for the queens, I guess, which... But I think they're just being shady to be shady. Meanwhile, now this part I do not like, and I don't agree with the queen's behavior. So I just want to say that. Not a fan of this. It seemed very bratty and almost bullyish. But basically everyone starts dogpiling Yuri for being the only girl without a win, which, listen, track record is important, yes, but that doesn't mean you should be counting someone out. And especially on Dragula, where we know it's not like that over here. It's not Drag Race. And I feel like the girls that maybe didn't watch the show, Auntie, kind of came into it with the Drag Race energy when it ain't that. And I appreciate that the Boulets on their podcast came out and frankly said that they did not agree with how the contestants were treating Yuri either. So there's that. And Auntie basically says that Yuri is the next one on the chopping block. We'll see. And then the conversation quickly shifts to who is coming back. Yuri says that it would be gaggy if Asia went home, which I love her. Just how, like, she's kind of shady. She lives for the drama. And Pi thinks that Asia will be okay, but isn't too sure. Girl, you gotta have more faith in your sister. And Auntie thinks that it's ultimately Jaharia's time, which is very unfortunate, but also admits that at the same time she wants Asia to be gone anyway, so. And of course, ultimately, Asia does return, yay. And she shows off the giant tattoo that literally goes from the top of her down to like her thigh. It's crazy. And the challenge seemed to really give Asia fire, and she doesn't seem nervous at all. She seems very confident and just ready to go into this next challenge. And of course, after Asia does say that she's not nervous, Auntie swoops right in and says 2 wins to a loss doesn't scare you. And the girls, they get into it. They start going back and forth, and Auntie, like, alluding that Asia hasn't won in a while. She's still won more than you. And then Asia comes in and says that Auntie had the easiest extermination out of everyone, which, T. Basically saying that, like, we all lip sync for a living, versus Auntie combats that with, well, anyone would get tattooed on a Saturday night. Any one of them, maybe, but not just anyone. But also, not just anyone would get up and lip sync either. The fair. But this is something that's like all of you. So I would expect all of you have gotten tattoos. No biggie. All of you have lip synced. No biggie. Except maybe Gray. Maybe he hasn't. But they do a good job. Pi, shady little demon, appreciate you for this, I do, brings up how Auntie thanked them for making her lip sync, how it brought her to life, which, fair, but you thanked them. I don't think Asia's necessarily thanking them for disfiguring her body a little bit, but, and that tattoo is a disfigurement. It is, okay? If you really want to see it, I mean, check the last episode, I think it's included in there, but it's bad. And then Asia flat out says to Auntie, I'm coming for you, bitch, which, love it. And Pi seems to feel like a child of divorce, stuck between the two, forced to be in alliance with Auntie, in an alliance with Asia by choice, it seems. And then the Boulets pop on up to give the ghouls their challenge this week. So let's head on over and see that.
Good evening, my little cadaver.
They're getting more, like, snappy.
My, just look at you all. I can't believe how far you've made it. I mean, seriously, for some of you, I am really, really surprised. But you know what? Good for you. Remember the little engine that could, and the black sheep, and the puggy little puppy, and all that. Keep up the good work.
Yo. Oh, by the way, y'all will it show it? Got the Boulay Brothers little mini action figures.
Got our asses. And speaking of good work, this week we're taking modified body parts to the next level with our fabulously fiendish Frankenhooker challenge.
For this week's main challenge, you are to draw inspiration from the
I am very, very, very excited for this challenge.
term Frankenhooker and conceptualize and create a new sexy monster who knows how to cuddle as well as they kill. You also have to choreograph a sexy supernatural video vixen lip sync performance in your new patchwork.
This is so much fun. Also, I love that we're playing into the lip syncs more a lot this season. We don't usually get that too much. I enjoyed this. I'm here for this.
Prostitute look. And as there are only a few of you left now, you better not disappoint us.
The winner of the challenge will also receive a 5-day all-inclusive cruise and a VIP upgrade and airfare to and from Miami.
That's the one to win. Yo. A whole ass cruise. Damn.
Courtesy of Big Gay Cruise. For this week's Fright Feet, you'll be playing a little game of electric chair trivia with your exorcister, Cynthia Doll.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun.
Cynthia will hook you up with an electric collar, ask you Dragula-related trivia questions, and if you get them wrong, she'll fry you.
Ooh. The girls that didn't watch the show beforehand look real nervous.
There's the electric chair, bitch.
You can tell which ones too, okay? If you've seen this episode already, in hindsight, you can tell which ones look nervous, and it's for a reason.
Whoever gets the most questions right will win the Fright Feet and will win the ability to cast the Curse of Baldness, which will allow you
Work. Okay, that's always a fun one, I feel like. Like, it's never too serious.
to evaporate a competitor of your choosing's wig for the main floor show.
See, they just said wig, though. They didn't specify headpiece also. Because I consider a headpiece technically a bald queen, depending.
Have fun, sluts, and we'll see you in a few days on the main stage. Oh my god!
I'm so here for it.
So, obviously everyone wants the cruise. I mean, duh. Who the hell wouldn't? Pi is pretty adamant that Yuri's not going to get it. And Auntie is really shook by the curse. Baldness. Which, it's alright. Auntie does bring up how Pi in the last episode was urging everyone to curse them. Auntie trying to like push that away. But the thing is, depending on who wins, it's almost guaranteed Pi is not going to get that curse. So, but Asia does come in and says that she doesn't remember agreeing to curse Pi last week. Shady. Shady. Oh, I just know Auntie's sweating. And I mean, obviously, Auntie's been a heavy hitter the entire season. If Asia wins, she's going to go for her. And if Auntie wins, she's going to go for Asia. Of course, there's great competition there as well. But those are the heavy hitters right out the gate. You can see, you know. Auntie says that she'll be true to her word and give it to Pi. Says that it's the fire that she needs. So shady. Aren't you guys, like, supposed to be in an alliance? And Pi claps back with probably one of the best reads that we've gotten this season. I'm just gonna say it. It was a good one. And I got a clip of it, so let's go check that out.
Here's the thing, y'all say I don't have any fire when y'all are over here like talking about like, I handled my flop week better than you handled your flop week, and I haven't had a flop week yet. So
Yeah, wait. I rescind all the shit I just talked about Pi. That was a read. Oh, your flop week.
There's always time for
So
it.
that's that.
And then Cynthia arrives for the Fright Feet this week, so let's go check that out as well.
Good morning, hookers.
She looks gorgeous.
Oh, only 5 of you left.
divas.
Oh, yeah. So as you know, this week's Fright Feet is Dragula Electric Chair Trivia. The winner of this week's Fright Feet gets to cast the curse
I love it when they shock them.
of baldness.
Okay. I would argue this is probably the easiest curse that they got.
So who's ready to get fried, bitches?
Not the dog collars, oh my god.
Oh, Dragula trivia, I feel right at home. I have been watching since season 1, and I've watched every season multiple times, so I am not worried about this Fright Feet.
True, if you're a super fan, this would come in handy.
I hope my Dragula trivia is up to date, and I also hope they give me the easiest questions.
Let's begin with Yuri. When Bitter Betty goes for the jugular, she turns into who?
I don't know.
You don't know? I don't know. You don't know? I don't know. Zapper. The answer was Petty Betty.
That fucking hurt. I don't know what to fucking do besides laugh.
Listen, I would have trouble just being put on the spot with something like that, but some of these girls very clearly don't know their Dragula.
It's horrible. I hate being shocked.
Auntie. Who was talking? Who was talking? Who was talking?
That's so easy. Hoso.
I don't know, JK.
Hoso!
Girl. Side-eyeing Auntie on that one.
Oh, JK does talk a lot. Who was stabbed running
I forget that they were on the same season together.
from figures in boule masks?
A contestant.
No shit. Which contestant?
Erica.
The contestant was formaldehyde.
These shock collars hurt. It literally makes your whole body twitch.
What happens to Pie?
I love how, like, the Boulets and probably no one on the cast would ever use a shock collar on a dog, but on people? Fair game.
When you shock it with electricity.
I don't know.
Well, we're about to find
No.
out. Well, you haven't even done an extermination yet, and you're acting like a bitch.
Well, it hurts.
Oh! You signed up for this. Get over it. Fill in the blank. Yeah, but
I mean, true. They did sign up for it, so.
guys, guess what? Blank. Like, okay, you have a blank. What if you didn't have a blank? Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm a ghost. Here's a blank.
To be fair, that's a hard one.
It was a rat!
Oh, I hate this.
This pain feels like somebody's grabbing the tendons in my neck with nails and twisting. Like,
Ugh. Ugh.
I do not recommend these shock collars for animals or drag queens or drag kings or drag monsters, unless you're into that.
Asia, I don't blank my brother. He blanks me.
Oh, that's an easy one. Come on, where's Madge?
Oh, so they get the easy one?
I don't fuck my brother. He fucks me.
That is correct.
It's a bit of an inside joke in the series, you guys. Don't take that like.
Rest in peace, Majesty.
Yuri, I have performed in New York City, and I have blank and blank.
I'm twirled and swirled in New York City.
Okay.
That is correct. That is correct, yeah.
There you go, Yuri.
Yeah.
I have not, but I will soon.
Finish the quote
If you make it to top 4, dog.
from this special guest judge. Quit blank.
Talking.
I mean, valid answer. Valid answer. But no, that would be Willem. Quit drag.
That's incorrect. That one.
Oh, God.
Second season, too. Willem was like, have all the girls done the psyche vow so we know they won't. Oh my god.
These bitches are getting answers wrong, left and right.
The easiest ones, too. Like,
It's like, do you even watch the show?
What was the
that
answer?
part.
Drag by Willem. I'll just do that then.
Who has done the most exterminations in
Please don't, Gray.
Dragula history?
It is Erica Clash.
Wrong! Ah, bitch! Jesus fucking Christ! Well, you got half of it right. It was a tie between Erica and Sigourney Beaver.
Really? Sigourney was in that many? I thought she was highly favored that season. I'm gonna have to go back and watch. She did that many? Erica Clash numbers? Oh, okay.
But that... What?
No, talk back.
Oh my god. The gig is a rig. I think Cynthia is a little too happy right now, the sadistic bitch.
Still in the
Okay. Get to top 5 and all of a sudden Laganja Stranja shows up.
blank. The blank keeps me slim. The blank gives me a personality.
That's definitely a Disasterina quote.
The coke, it keeps me slimmed, and alcohol, it gives me a personality.
That was Disasterina.
That is correct!
Love Disasterina.
You should still get zapped.
No.
No.
No, please, no, please.
Yeah. No, Israel was ready.
A cube is a blank. Fill in the blank.
Oh. This is her own quote.
A sphere?
That is incorrect! Zapper!
Asia, I'll give you that one. It's the newest season, so like you haven't been able to binge watch it and as many times as the others. I getcha.
That was my quote, you bitch! A cube is a 4D square.
Bitch, I failed math.
Bitch, me too. Come on, mama. Give me the crowd.
Come on, mama.
Come on, Mama Swan.
Come on, mama swan. Give me the crowd. Sorry, swan. Who said, take a couple shots of tequila and get into it?
Was that Madge?
Madeline Hatter!
No. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Yeah, duh. I'm stupid. I get my seasons mixed up.
What does
Why does it seem like Auntie Loki enjoys it?
Bora make her nose out of?
Tape.
That is correct. That is.
Jinx. Monsoon. Oh, fuck me. I accidentally muted it. Sorry, y'all.
Played at the Boulet's Beauty Bazaar.
That was Jade.
Bitter Betty.
That is incorrect! The correct answer was Jade Jolie. Asia, fill in the blank.
I love how Asia's answering everyone's questions for them.
Fuck the big picture. Blank.
Clint.
Fuck the big picture, Clint.
Yes!
Oh, you're gonna give her all the easy ones. Okay.
And the winner of the Fright Feet that
That's
has the
definitely
most
Asia.
correct answers is Asia Consent!
Super fan over here.
Of course, Asia won the Fright Fee. She got the easiest questions.
Backstage tea. Apparently, there was rumors going around that Auntie was bragging about how she never saw the show before. Messy.
And all of them were about literally the quote she's been saying all goddamn season, so whatever.
To anyone out
Blessed and highly favored.
there that thinks I got the easy questions, bitch, I could have took any of their questions. I still would have came out on top.
Congratulations,
That's more than likely true.
Asia. You have the ability to cast the curse of baldness, but you won't be able to cast that curse until moments before the floor show.
How deliciously evil.
I can see the writing on the wall. Asia was already coming for me. Ugh, I don't want the fucking curse.
Good luck, everybody. And also, one more
This is about to get bloody.
thing. Super shot!
You know what? Deserved.
So then we go to the ghouls working on their looks for the floor show. Gray is going for a Cronenberg-inspired body horror kind of vibe. Latex, staples, and paint. And they say that they're going to try something different. Big titties and high heels. I'm excited. I'm excited. Auntie is inspired by pop art and Rocky Horror. It makes sense. She's going full-blown camp. Groundbreaking. Neon colors, plastic look, more kind of like cartoony. I think the cartoon aspect of some of these looks is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. I don't think that's what the challenge was. Sorry. Yuri going for very femme, very cunt, and we haven't really seen that much from her. You know, we saw it during her entrance look. Like, she can pull off glamour and beauty. So it's going to be interesting to see. Mixing that with like the effed up horror and gore of it all. But she is still going for gory, latex, sexy, and going to use other girls' critiques to push her in the performance. Although, spoiler, not going to be able to include the lip sync because it's to copyrighted music. I do apologize. It's a really good one, though. I do recommend going and checking it out. You can watch it fully on the Boulay Brothers YouTube, so check them out as well. That's where I get most of these clips, and from Instagram and TikTok. So Asia is looking around the room, trying to see whose hair/headpiece she's going to get rid of. Evil little demon, really drumming up the like fear and anxiety in the other competitors. I kind of love it. And they do stop by and have a little discussion with Pi, basically just going over like their loyalty to each other in this alliance, that they're both going to do anything for the two of them to be in the finale. At this point in Asia's determination, she is set on Auntie, but that is going to change. Pi then goes and checks in with Auntie. Auntie brings up the alliance, saying that like if she has the power, she will keep Pi, although whenever do they have the power to actually keep someone? But Auntie then also does double down on whether Pi is in the alliance for sure or not. They haven't really discussed anything. And Pi comes out and says she does not like the alliance and is basically like drawing back. No deal to Auntie. Which, okay, I know Auntie is so annoyed. But she's showing her loyalty to Asia. Pi also just says she can't trust Auntie like that. And Auntie says, whatever, you're very wishy-washy. Kind of like pushing her off now.
Auntie's taking it pretty well. Pi has become notorious for flip-flopping. She cannot make up her mind. She bitch is untrustworthy. We didn't even get the alliance started.
I love when they do this. They did the same thing to freaking Astrid during Titans. Just on and on and on.
Thinking we had a fucking agreement, and then you got trying to say that I forced. We haven't even done anything with the alliance. I don't know what is going through Pi's head, but it's really fucking.
The crazy thing is, they got all this footage, so there was a rant.
Like, what do you want? You know what, maybe this is a good thing, because I just don't really trust Pi right now.
And you know what? I appreciate that.
This season is so freaking funny.
Then it goes to Auntie feels like everyone is out to get her. I think it's the sharp tongue. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I think the more that we've seen Auntie, I find a lot of the critiques that she seemed to have with James, I just find it very ironic that I'm being presented with some of the same behaviors that I think people didn't like James for. But I don't know what they were fighting about. Only the people that were there know what James and Auntie were fighting about behind the scenes that made Auntie say the whole narcissism thing. But I don't know. what a complex character Auntie really is. But I appreciate that about her. Pi then tells, like, in the confessional that they didn't really take back their word from Auntie because Auntie just assumed they were in alliance. And yeah, fair. Pi never said, like, oh yeah, sure. Like, never confirmed it or anything. So, but then Asia goes in and checks in with Auntie, and she's a little bit nervous. They both bring up how close the cast has gotten with one another, and then they kind of open up to each other a little bit more, which is, it's nice. I know we're supposed to be like shady little demons, but it's nice to see them connect on a human level and not on the competitor level. Asia tells the story of her close drag sister who ended up assaulting her, and that has led to like a lot of mistrust that she has within the drag community. And Auntie just kind of reassures her that she knows what that feels like and knows what it's like to trust the wrong people, but also recognizes the need to still try and not shut yourself out from the world. And it's just a very sweet moment, but it does seem a little bit like opportune timing, you know, just a little bit. Just a bit. But now Asia isn't sure who she's going to curse. But it is the day of the floor show, and Asia is up to cast her curse this week. So Asia decides to be really nice, doesn't want to break the trust that she's starting to form with Auntie. I think she learned that a little bit along the way with Pi in the beginning. But Yuri thinks that Asia's being a little overconfident by choosing herself. The curse of baldness ain't that big of a deal. It really isn't. In Dragula, not that big of a deal. If this were like Drag Race, then yeah. But just about any look you could turn into bald. Asia also shows the bad wig that she had in mind, so maybe bald is definitely the better choice. But with that, it is time for the floor show, so let's head on over.
Ooh, okay, come through negligee. Ooh. They serve sexy, but very modestly. This is something a little, what do they said we're doing hookers this week. Let's make it a little scandalous. Sorry to keep pausing. Although if I remember correctly, I don't think they knew it was this see-through. Gorgeous ladies. Also, if you guys like their soundtrack and whatnot, I can't point you to like a specific artist other than Dragula'S. She and some other, music people produce the music for floor shows, everything. When I tell you they are so hands-on with the creation of this show, we mean it. And it's just such, you see that difference from this to other drag competition shows where, the name of the brand and everything has no part in it. Work. It's serving. It's giving.
So, judges this week. First, we have film critic and writer. He's also host of like a drive-in film kind of podcast series. Horror historian Joe Bob Briggs. I love his name. He's been on before though, so we do know him. And Joe Bob's most trusted co-host, Diana Darcy the Mail Girl. Prince. Love it. And she's gorgeous as well. And she is the co-host of the last drive-in with Joe Bob. So, with that, let's head on to the floor show, you guys. Once again, not going to be able to show the entire floor show, but I'll show what I can, okay? And we'll go over the looks. I'm so ready for this, you guys. This is going to be such a freaking fun challenge, and I hope it's one that we see, like, reoccur. Or maybe not specifically Frankenhooker, but just, like, different older kind of camp movies re-envisioned, you know? Like, could you imagine a sleepaway camp challenge? That'd be fun. Okay, I love the car. It's Oh, this is such a vibe. This is so much fun. And then there's pie. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to be able to show that. Listen, this is... Now, it's not conventionally hot, but I think for gray matter, this is a hot look. Probably the most femme we're going to see him, too. Okay. Now... I don't like to use this word with Auntie because I don't think Auntie is this, but this look from her, very predictable. I kind of hate that. Okay. She's a good performer, though. Let's see how Miss Asia pulls off this curse of baldness. Okay. See, a Frankenhooker challenge going bald? Just show brains. Duh. Work, Diva. Now, unfortunately, guys, I can't really show the lip sync. I'm sorry. I can't show it. I don't want to get copyrighted, but we will discuss it further. Alrighty, so we have Yuri here. The look, it's given. It is. It's maybe not necessarily what I would have thought of when it comes to Frankenhooker, but it's the energy. You know, like the performance she did, I think really knocked it out of the park and really kind of surprised everyone. I don't think people knew that Yuri could be that, like, sex bombshell, you know, but still bring the horror and gore of it all. But I really like this look. I do. Not sure what's happening here with, like, the hair and the sickle thing on the end of it, but I love it. Streetwalker down. Now, gray, girly. I love this. I really do. And I think gray is a unique example of you don't have to go cartoony to still be camp. Because this look was camp, okay? The Cenobite rubber sex doll kind of fantasy of it all, / like a little H.R. Geiger a bit. It's just, it's really interesting. It's also quintessential gray matter, I would say. But the extra added performance bit of the spark nipples,
Oh my god. And the car was a real car. That was all real. Like, it wasn't some setup that they had to make it look like. No, they were hooking up the car to their breastplate. That's crazy, dude. Bravo. So, Asia, consent. Now, as per usual, it's a lot. It's a lot. But it's a lot in a good way. And once again, camp while still bringing that gore and horror to it all. I think all of the looks were camp. It's the challenge in general. I don't think you could walk into Frankenhooker and it not have a level of that camp kind of aesthetic to it. It's just what the challenge is, you know? So it almost felt a little hard-handed then when people came in with like cartoony camp renditions, when this is still camp. It's still camp. She's got animals and people like all stitched together. It's disgusting. And it's exactly what the challenge called for, to be honest. Plus, she just looked so chill, like, riding in the car. So, Pie, I see the vision. I just don't know if I like it. I'm gonna be honest. I think it would have been maybe nice to see Pie come out in something that didn't look like a breath of what we'd seen the entire season. I think Pie gives what she gives, and she gives it very well. But I don't think this challenge was necessarily for that. And I think that's why judging goes the way it goes. We'll get to that. Now, Auntie, again, I like the vision of it, I guess. I would like this look just outside of context of this challenge. I think it's too on the nose Frankenstein, you know? And like, yeah, it's a Frankenstein hooker. I liked the arm gag and all that. And it's very clean, very put together. But I just don't think it's giving what needs to be gave this week.
You wanna hop up, say hi? You wanna hop up? Alrighty, so after the floor show, head on over for judging. See what just the Blaze have to say.
You know, we have to admit that the Frankenhooker movie, to today's standards, is a bit problematic.
Terribly problematic.
But to me,
There's many movies like that, alright? Even Sleepaway Camp is problematic nowadays. It's one of my favorites. I think it depends on what angle you want to look at things from. I haven't seen Frankenhooker. Just from the sounds of it, I can guess that it's probably, pretty rough. But I think it's fine to still enjoy things as long as you can also recognize, like, how we have changed, you know?
that's why I want to give it to the queer universe and let them reinterpret it, because the concept is so brilliant.
And it's so
True.
Dragula.
It is
like
so
some kind of
Dragula.
like patchwork prostitute monster
Yes.
hooker.
Very. I mean, that's Dragula.
I'm like, oh my god, I love
It's
that.
perfect. I think they all did a fantastic job reinterpreting the idea of Frankenhooker.
Me too, hooker.
No, don't get crazy. The Get your
I like it when they get snappy.
wig snatched
All
up
right,
here on this
okay.
judges panel.
So I really love the theme of this challenge. I appreciate what the Boulets had to say regarding, the problems with the movie itself, but to take it and transform it into something that's so Dragula, it's perfect, honestly. But they do notice how it's like cute versus serious, it seems, between all the contestants. They thought the cartoon versions was a cheap way to address the challenge, which, oof. Oof. They did specify they want gore, they want that body horror, and I think a couple queens missed the mark. But I do find it very interesting that it was both the camp queens that ended up being in the bottom. Oops, sorry. Sorry to spoil it. Only like 3 months behind. They also thought that Pie wasn't very sexy, and that was part of the challenge. It was sexual, but it wasn't sexy, And Auntie, they thought, was way too covered up. She also didn't know the words, which once is an accident, twice is a hobby, 3 times, girl, get your shit together. Oh my lord. But they also thought like her look just in general didn't give Hooker. I really do love the Boulets like back and forth though during this episode. They seem to, ever since the prosthetics, and there's going to be more, ever since like all that, it really seemed to like bring them out a little bit. Plus, whenever we get towards the end of the seasons, I think they're so tired. They're just like, I want this to be over. Yuri, they thought she absolutely freaking killed it tonight, and she did. Go watch the performance on the Boulets YouTube. I promise it's so worth it. It was so good. They all did incredible, almost all, but Yuri's really was fantastic. They thought she really came alive and really flipped the competition on its head. Asia, they thought hers was a little bit ill-fitting, but they still thought it was fun and still campy while hitting the mark of being like gore and body horror. And they thought that she was very brave to use the curse on herself, but it ended up working in her favor. And Gray, they basically just really loved Gray's titty sparks, which you have to give them credit where credit is due. That and the full body latex, like, oof. So then we head on in for Judgment with the guest judges and all the monsters. And this one is coming down to the performance. So with Asia's, it really made them wonder, like, what's going on in her head. Ton of intricate details. Plus, like, it was boss, bitch, but also sexy versus sexual, which was a interesting kind of dichotomy, I think, of like what's sexy versus what's inherently like over the top sexual, because I think they were going more for sexy, you know. And Gray also, bless your soul, but why'd you have to refer to it as this, said that Asia's look was basically like walking bestiality. Jesus. With aunties, they very quickly clocked her for not knowing any of the words. But said that she did have great characterization, tons of props, which they loved, and that seems to be a reoccurring thing in her like lip syncs, is that when it's planned, she has just a bunch of props to pull out, which maybe that's kind of like a tactic. But they did say it was too cartoony. There was no gore, which that was the challenge. So completely missed the mark, essentially. And I think it's too close to the reference of Frankenstein. Gray, they thought was naughty and nasty. And they thought the back face, because it's hard to see except for in the video performance, but the back face that's on the other side of Gray's head looked like Joe Bob Briggs. It's just so random and so weird. But Darcy does mention also that Gray is body goals and looks like they could be from the actual movie itself. Just scary and campy. And I think this challenge really lends itself to serious horror and gore while still maintaining the camp aspect. It's Frankenhooker. Like I said, you can't escape that. Yuri, they also thought was very scary and sexy. They called her a sex kitten. And the creature aspect of her didn't overshadow her sexiness or her confidence, which I think some others that might have happened to. And Auntie even was shook, had no idea that that type of performance energy or maybe even skill was in Yuri. Pie, they did seem to enjoy the very aggressive car love making. They thought that it had all of the elements to be like a good look and a good performance, but they also, Swan said that they found it very hard to look at, which shade. But they just thought it was a little lackluster, which is kind of crazy. But that's where we're getting to in the competition. The Boulets want to reiterate, like, just keep chugging, don't get tired now. But Pi fully thought that they were going to win, which, girl. I think Pi shoots herself a bit in the foot here during this, like, second half. But we'll get to that. So Gray, Asia, and Yuri are the tops for this week, and Pi is absolutely gagged. And of course, Yuri wins, which is completely flips the script. When we went from everyone doubting Yuri, dogging her for not having a win, to now she's the winner. Like, she's going to make it into next week at least, because there we go. Although they could pull the Abora and still put her up anyways. They could. And Yuri got the damn cruise too, so good on her. Pi stays delusional and really thinks that they should have won, but I think Pi's in for a wake-up call a bit coming up. And then the Boulets ask all the girls right on stage who they think should go home. So, you know it's going to be good. Asia says Gray. Says that they lack performance skill, which I don't agree with. Gray's shocked by the statement and is pissed a bit. Asia does later admit that she was first. She didn't know that she could still say Yuri even though she had won. So she was just trying to think of someone, and she can't say Pi, and she doesn't want to say Auntie because they just, like, you know, made up. So it's funny. Auntie does say Yuri and says that she isn't showing it out every week. She's just been coasting and now finally won, which, yeah, that's true, but she won. Gray absolutely reads Asia, says I was top for Killer Dolls 2 and that was a performance challenge. But eventually does say Yuri should be the one to go home. Said that you don't come to Dragula to find confidence. It's so cut cold, like dry. That's why I love it. But I don't know, like, you can do a little bit of both, right? Yuri understands where everyone is coming from, though, and I think she's handling it very, like, maturely. Yuri, though, when it is her turn to say who, she just delays, and the Boulets are having to really pull it out of her. But ultimately, she says Pi just because she doesn't personally like Pi's look, which, fair, I guess. And then Pi does say Yuri as well. Basically just says that she's had a rough time up until now. I wouldn't say rough. Yuri does say that she's thankful Asia's the only one that didn't mention her, but, you know, like, we find out Asia didn't know she could say Yuri, or else she would have. So Auntie and Pi are the bottom two for this week. Gag. Pi really thinks that it should still be Yuri, and Auntie thinks that track record should save her, although Pi hasn't been in the bottom before, correct? So and we learn that they are going into the freezer of foreboding. Love the name. But it's basically an endurance test. They're going to be in negative 94 degree Fahrenheit weather. That's going to suck. So heading on into the cauldron, there is a bunch of Big Gay Cruise merch on the table. And Gray is hoping that all of the free goodies will cut some of the tension this week. It's not. Asia does apologize to Gray and does admit that she didn't know that she could say Yuri, but wants to also see him, like, riled up a bit. And it definitely did that. Gray thinks she's playing dirty, talking about top 4, and then saying that is leaving him very confused and pissed off, which, rightfully so, I would say. Yeah. I think both are valid, you know? And, of course, they had the talk after, I'm sure. Probably just to, like, play up the storyline on camera, you know? Pi comes right out and says that this isn't the drag that Yuri does, which I don't like that. This whole cauldron, even Gray says that Pie is leaving a very kind of nasty taste in their mouth with how they're acting. And I will agree. I don't think Pie's a bad person or anything. This was probably a very high tension moment, but I do not like this side of them that we saw. You know, it comes off as like the puppet master losing his mind once all the strings start to get cut. That's kind of what it was giving a little bit. And with this whole narrative of like calculated and all that, it's just, I don't like this portrayal of them. But she also says that Yuri isn't pushing the envelope and is basically just being extremely condescending to Yuri. Yuri doesn't care if anyone's pissed. She's just sitting back enjoying her drink like, oh, fuck y'all. And rightfully so. But she really gagged everyone by winning this challenge. Pie thinks that everyone was alike and theirs is unique and different, so they should have won. I love how we're still on the conversation of this is why I should have won and not this is why I should stay. Interesting. But yours wasn't unique because of Auntie. You're the two camp queens doing the two camp looks. Go figure, right? Like, when we stack it up compared to everything else that Pie has done, it's not out of the box for Pie. This is pretty much what I was expecting for Pie to do. Was some foam Muppet thing. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like, it was very on brand for her. And then Pie also declares that people will look up to them as an artist when the show airs. I didn't like that. It was a lot of building herself up in almost like a megalomaniac way. It felt weird. I don't like it. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't think it represents Pie correctly. I think it represents them correctly in that moment, but I don't think that's the Pie that like we should be getting to know. But unfortunately, it came out, so we're going to talk about it. And Pie was also ragging how like, oh, wow, people came out with a bunch of dicks, go figure. And Gray clocked it, said, how is a butthole different from dicks? Fair. Gray really doesn't like Pie's attitude. Also really fair. Auntie is over the whole pack your bags, bitch kind of energy. She is basically just like, bring it on. Whoever wins, wins. I think Auntie's handling it maturely and Pie is being Pie. Auntie does ask like kind of the question of who will be best for the Dragula brand. And she's kind of here to be the mother character. Pie then very boldly claims there never has and never will be a contestant like her on the show. Hit the brakes just a little. Just tap them a bit, Pie. I'm begging you, dude. Oh my god. And Pie's just kind of like blowing smoke up their own butt about the whole thing, saying they have the best costumes, the best makeup that has ever been seen on the franchise across all seasons. Asia even clocks it. Like, girl, best costume and makeup? Please. Auntie thinks Pie is extremely desperate, compares the situation to, like, who would you want, a adult or a child? And is just saying Pie is acting very immature, and unfortunately, gotta agree. Auntie also says that she brings traditional drag to the Dragula level and to a pageant level as well, and I will agree with that. Auntie is a unique type of character that I don't think we've seen too much of yet within this world of Dragula, but I think we're going to start seeing more pageant queens. Like, who can I really think of as a pageant girl? Definitely Diva Destruction. She's pageant. A lot of the Southern queens. It's more a Southern thing nowadays, I would say. But she also alleges that she would help push the Dragula brand further. And I think to an extent that could be a thing. She would be that mother, that polish that I don't think a winner has necessarily had before, except for Landon. Landon is by far the most polished winner that I think the series has seen thus far. With that, let's head on over to the extermination.
Who do we think it's going to be, guys? I really, honestly, like, it could be anyone.
This week's extermination is basically to get frozen solid inside of a meat locker.
Listen, I'm from the Midwest. I have dealt with Midwest winters. They are brutal, but mama...
I can't do the cold. I really can't. It's unbearable for me. Like, that is true pain.
I don't like it.
Oh, they're freezing. It's like a cold metal locker, too. Oh my god. Gooby over here. You got your ball? Yeah. Okay. He's just gonna lay down. Not water on them too, dude. Oh my god. Oh, that's miserable.
Oh my fucking god, there's water being sprayed on me. Like, girl, it's fucking freezing enough, and now I have this freezing ice water on me. Fuck.
I like the frozen effects. I also feel like they're hamming it up a little bit, but that's definitely uncomfortable.
Oh, this icy wind is fucking terrible. My body temperature's dropping. I can't stop shivering. My lips are going numb. It feels like there's like blades on my face. Like, it's terrible.
She's got her tits on. Girl, a chest plate? I feel like that's cheating. She's got padding. They definitely don't look like they're having fun. I wouldn't.
Feel like my muscles getting tight, my fingers are losing feeling, like I'm starting to feel pain. I don't fucking wish this on my worst enemy, but I do on pie.
Shady. I wouldn't want to go through this.
The temperature keeps dropping by the second. They keep spraying us with water and blowing us again, and it just keeps happening again and again. Oh my god, I can't even think.
The Boulets also said in their podcast, no one was stopping. Like, every time the crew would be like, should we stop? Like, I think they've had enough. And Drac, of course, the headmaster of it all, the ringleader of the chaos, is just like, no one's tapped out, keep going.
Straight. My brain is like frozen solid.
I can't fucking take this anymore.
Taking off the lashes?
Pi needs to go home. Like, this is not my fucking time. Like, I am here to fucking win the crown. I am the fucking voice of the people. Like, what I
The bald head, too, man. It's gotta be hitting extra hard.
do is so fucking important. Like, nothing compares to what anti-heroine is. Like, I'm sorry, Pi, but you gotta go.
I love it when the girls get cocky and they start just, like, ranting. That's very chaotic. Ooh. Who do we think it's going to be, guys? Honestly, with how judging went and even the extermination and everything, it's anyone's game, I would say. I'm going to have to fast forward through so much of this. It's just wandering. Hi. Samantha, we're gonna miss you, gal. Aww. Well, the camp queen. I think Pi's the camp queen of the season. I know Auntie gives her a close run-up, but Auntie, I think, is more pageant than camp.
Alrighty, you guys, so yes, unfortunately, Pi does go home. It felt right, but I am sad. I don't know how the, like, cards would have fallen, but I did kind of see Pi at least in Final Four. But, hey, Yuri gotcha, gal. No, but next episode is the Dead by Daylight challenge, and I'm so excited for this one. I don't play Dead by Daylight, but I just love how we're like crossing genres, you know? We're going into gaming, which isn't new for Dragula, but like real world. There are real world implications to this challenge coming up. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to try to pump these out as quickly as I can. Thank you so much, you guys. I truly do appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Like and subscribe, all of that. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.